currently in the top wildcard spot, but will be the number one seed in the NFC if they do win out. The Seahawks, Bears, Niners, and Rams are all still very much alive for that one seed entering week 17. And for more, I'm joined by CBS Sports NFL writer John Breach. Breach, it's the season of giving. Holidays are upon us, so we got to start with that one seed. Who does Santa Breach have the number one seed in the NFC going to?
Well, Santa Breach, after watching the 49ers on Monday night, Brock Purdy was the one acting like Santa Claus, just delivering gifts, touchdown passes to everyone on his team. But I'm giving the gift of the NFC's number one seed to the San Francisco 49ers, Maddie. And one reason I'm doing this is because it's actually also a gift to myself. Back in August, my preseason prediction to finish as the number one seed in the NFC was the San Francisco 49ers. I got laughed at off the internet at the time. But now the joke's on everyone else because this is very realistic. When you look at what this team has been through this season, things got a little bit dicey earlier when you talk about September, October, all the injuries that hit them. Brock Purdy was out for a few games. And now here we are with 2 weeks left in the season. And all the 49ers have to do is beat the Bears on Sunday, follow that up with a win over the Seahawks in Week 18, and then they win the NFC West, and they are the number one overall seed. And I think that when you look at this team, you think about how hot this offense is right now. They haven't punted in the month of December. Christmas Eve is tomorrow, and this team has not punted in December. And then you look at what else is happening. They got the late bye, so that gave this team an extra week to heal. That's where that Week 14 bye really came in handy. So everything is kind of coming up good for the 49ers right now, and that is why I'm gifting them the first seed.
It's a solid gift for them to open under the tree. Now, last Christmas, the AFC gave Kansas City their heart, but the very next day they gave it away, or technically more like a month later, the Super Bowl falling to the Eagles. But I digress. So this year, Breach, to save us from tears, let's give it to someone special. Who are you gifting the number one seed in the AFC to?
I love it. You know what else I love? A Christmas miracle. And that is why I am giving it to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is who I am giving the number one seed in the AFC to. You look at what this team has been through. It seems like every year we're talking about, is Trevor Lawrence a bust, or is this the year where he finally proves he can play football? Well, he has looked great this year. You have head coaches from other football teams saying, oh, look, Jacksonville's in a small market. What a plucky little team. I bet they can't come out here and beat us. And then you have to look at these Jag fans where they lose a game every year to London. So there's no fan base. There is no team that deserves this number one seed more than Jacksonville. And it's not just that. This team has looked good. We saw them absolutely dominate the Broncos, and it felt like Denver was probably the best team in the AFC. Jacksonville has also dominated the Chargers. They have played some great games, and they have looked good against good competition. They've also beaten the Texans once this year, so they're going to have a lot of confidence going into the AFC playoffs. Obviously, to get the number one seed, it is a little bit complicated. They have to win out, and we just saw right there, the Broncos have to go 1-1 down the stretch, so maybe they lose to the Chargers in Week 18. The Patriots have to go 1-1 down the stretch, so either losing to the Dolphins or the Jets. A little more of a long shot there, but not impossible.
Not impossible. I mean, hey, the Jaguars have been pretty dominant in the feats of strength, so we could see a Festivus miracle with the Jags getting the one seed in the AFC. Now, there have been a lot of game-changing and dynamic performances this season, but one player has to stand above the rest. So let's offer this simple case from kids to 1 to 92. Although it's been said in many times and many ways, Breach, the MVP is who?
The MVP is the one guy who old as Santa Claus, and that is Matthew Stafford. It's 37 years old. That's ancient by NFL standards. And you look at how long he has been around. He was drafted in 2009. He is in his 17th season. In his 16 full seasons, he has literally only gotten an MVP vote once. And that came in 2023 when he finished in 8th place. Otherwise, everyone's just ignored him. He's put up some huge numbers. He put up big numbers in Detroit, threw for 5,000 yards a couple times, won a Super Bowl in 2021. But the guy can't get any respect. But this feels like the year where it finally happens. And it's not going to be one of those, a pity vote. Stafford's actually going to earn this. You look at what he's doing. He's playing at a very playoff contender and the third toughest strength of schedule in the NFL this year through 16 weeks. So I like what Stafford's done, and he's done it against the best competition.
Right, and to your point, I mean, the Patriots, yes, they've had success, but only 2 of those wins have come against teams above 500. That's the same amount of wins against teams above 500 as the New York Giants have had, for a little context there. Now, Breach, I don't know about you, but I don't want a lot for Christmas. This is all I'm asking for. I just want a Week 17 upset. So who's going to surprise us and score? Let's make a wish come true. Who's getting the gift of an upset from you?
Well, hopefully we get a white Christmas in Charlotte, because that is where the upset is coming from. I'm going to gift it to the Carolina Panthers. They are a 7.5-point underdog against the Seahawks. I think everyone is expecting Seattle to walk into that stadium and just kind of destroy the Panthers. But this team has been much better than advertised this year. And first of all, they don't lose as underdogs. They've been one of the best underdogs in modern NFL history. You're looking at this record here. They are 8-5 straight up as an underdog. That is almost unheard of for a team to get 8 wins as an underdog. They are even better at home. And those 2 wins they've had at home over the past couple weeks, they've already beaten the Rams. They have beaten the Buccaneers. So they have beaten some of the best teams in the NFC. They're going to have a lot of confidence. And let's not forget, I know this is a revenge game for Sam Darnold, but I'm sure the Panthers would also love to knock his pants off right there and just beat the Seahawks by 3 touchdowns. So I don't think that is going to happen, but I do think this game is kind of setting up for a small upset. And if that happens, that will totally disrupt the NFC playoff race. It will throw a wrench in the 1 seed, and maybe the Panthers clinch the NFC South, because if the Buccaneers lose and the Panthers win, Carolina clinches the division title.
Yeah, Panthers coming out with a major plot twist in the playing down the stretch. Now, some teams, though, they might be looking at their win column thinking, ooh, I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll just be so blue thinking about you, win column. But let's cheer up those having a blue Christmas with the gift of the #1 draft pick. Who's getting that gift?
Well, if we're talking about a blue Christmas, Maddie, I got to give it to the big blue. I got to give it to the G-Men, the New York Giants, who have a huge game on Sunday where their entire fan base is going to be rooting against them. We have the two teams with the worst record in the NFL right now. The Raiders, the Giants playing in an all-time showdown on CBS. I cannot believe we have this game. It needs to be on at midnight. It needs to be somewhere where everyone in the country can watch it, because there are a lot of NFL draft implications here. And the reason I am giving it to the Giants, though, you look at these 3 other teams that have a great shot. Those teams have had the first overall pick recently. The Raiders had it in the early 2000s when they drafted Jamarcus Russell. The Cardinals just had it when they took Kyler Murray. The Jets had it back in, I think, 1996 when they drafted Keyshawn Johnson. The New York Giants haven't had the #1 overall pick in the Super Bowl era. So the last time they had it was 1965. This is a team, I want to see what they do with the #1 overall pick. And the other part of that, I think they would be the most intriguing team at the top, because they don't need a quarterback. So this is a team that can sell off the #1 pick, ransom it, try and get as much draft compensation as possible in a trade. They have a lot of holes in their roster. If they can get that #1 pick, you trade down, you fill all those holes, and now you're a great team next year.
Especially if they can trade down and recoup some of that draft capital that they traded up to get Jackson Dart with last season. Might be a good spot. And the Giants are currently the team with the top pick in hand, just chilling and cooling like a snowman. So open your eyes and lend us an ear. We want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Breach, thanks so much for the insight. Santa Breach giving out the best Christmas gifts this NFL Week 17. Let's take a look at the NFL Christmas Day slate. We've got 3 games on deck, an NFC East battle between the Cowboys and the Commanders, the Lions and the Vikings. Lions looking to play their way into the wild card race, and the Broncos and the Chiefs, the nightcap on Thursday night. Coming up, the NFL upholds the 2-game suspension of Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf. Did history with a fan play into this unprecedented decision? Our NFL insider with the latest next, right here on CBS Sports HQ.